In the grip of turmoil, Gaza under siege, the world witnesses an escalating crisis as conflict intensifies between Israeli forces and Hamas militants, leaving a trail of devastation and loss in its wake. A timeline of recent events paints a grim picture. Senator Cory Booker was in Jerusalem when the onslaught began. The senator, who sits on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, sought refuge in a hotel bomb shelter alongside Americans of all ages. Initially in Israel for the Abraham Accords summit, Booker was forced to cut his visit short due to the escalating violence. His heartfelt condolences go out to the hundreds dead and thousands injured. Back home, the Senate is scheduled to reconvene on October 16th, with the situation in Gaza undoubtedly high on the agenda. But the violence shows no signs of abating. The Israeli military has ramped up its efforts to quell the militants, with a death toll that now exceeds 1,200. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has commanded a complete blockade on Gaza, severing power, food and fuel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vows to defeat the militants with force, while Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh accuses Israel of committing massacres. Adding to the tension, reports have surfaced of hostages being held by Hamas militants. Israeli forces have taken control of communities bordering Gaza. Residential buildings have been targeted by Israeli strikes, leading to widespread displacement. As a result, US airlines have suspended flights to and from Tel Aviv, and the Pentagon has dispatched its newest aircraft carrier to the Middle East in a show of force. The conflict between Israelis and Palestinians is steeped in history, and the recent violence has only deepened the divide. Hamas, founded in 1987 and committed to the destruction of Israel, has been designated a terrorist group. The group's incursion into Israel has led to a dramatic escalation in violence. Meanwhile, the inclusion of Israel in the US visa waiver program has sparked controversy at home. Critics argue that it overlooks documented discrimination against Americans of Arab and Palestinian descent. Concerns have also been raised about the safety of US citizens in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. In the Palestinian town of Beit Sahur, a math class was disrupted by news of missiles leaving Gaza. Students were sent home for their safety, a poignant reminder of how war impacts even the simplest aspects of daily life. Amid the chaos, a 12-year-old student named Lena comforted an adult teacher, a sobering illustration of how conflict forces children to grow up too soon. To conclude, the situation in Gaza is a complex and evolving crisis. The world watches in trepidation as the violence escalates, disrupting lives and leaving a lasting impact on the region. The quest for peace continues, but it's a long and treacherous road ahead.